Hi, Sachsenhausen. Polonia gwarna, parna, Germania richtig dicker Heil. Sachsenhausen. Wiertycie jak bambusik, trupie łebki to kaktusy Heil. Es lebe Kultur Kampf.
Welcome to Descendants Stuff, a podcast by and for the descendants of Sachsenhausen prisoners, working together to uncover the unanswered questions of its history. Sachsenhausen was a Nazi concentration camp located in Oranienburg, Germany, used from 1936 through April 1945. It was used as a labor camp, with a network of subcamps and worksites around the region, as well as a prison camp, death camp, medical experimentation center, and SS training ground. It was also the administrative center for all Nazi concentration camps. We are Jakob, Kelsey, and Nicole, three descendants of Sachsenhausen prisoners. Though our relatives were imprisoned for different reasons, we've discovered we have much in common. In each episode, we interview other descendants, researchers, and even survivors, sharing stories, memories, and research to build a clearer picture of the past, one that goes beyond the records. Through these conversations, we honor those who suffered and died at Sachsenhausen and strengthen our collective understanding of our own ancestors' experiences. This episode was recorded during the commemoration for the 80th anniversary of the liberation of Sachsenhausen in our podcast studio in Tower A, with special assistance from the Sachsenhausen Memorial and Museum. Michelle and Remko Huijsing are not descendants of former prisoners of Sachsenhausen Concentration Camp, but they traveled all the way from the Netherlands to visit the Sachsenhausen Memorial after learning about it in the TV series Generation War. In this interview, they speak with Jakob about their visit.
My name is Remko Huijsing.
And my name is Michelle Huijsing.
So you're from the Netherlands?
Yes, we are.
Where are you from in the Netherlands?
We're from a little village called Zwartsluis. It's about 20 kilometers above Zwolle.
Zwolle. Yeah.
Actually, the shirt I'm wearing is from the football club there, PEC Zwolle. And this shirt was worn on the 13th of April, which was my birthday. And it was the liberation game against Twente at the 80th anniversary of the freedom of the city of Zwolle. It was this year. Yeah.
These are the colors of the Canadian flag, because
the freedom from Zwolle was Leon Major, and he was the first Canadian soldier who shouted out all the Germans out of the city. Yeah.
So now you came to Sachsenhausen.
Yes.
That's a long way from the Netherlands.
It's about, included the ride from Berlin to here, 8 hours in total. Yeah.
So you just came to see
No, last Sunday we came to Berlin, and Monday and Tuesday we visited Berlin for the first time in my life. When she was young, and it's a great city. Always wanted to be going to Berlin, but it's massive, it's big, it's very beautiful. And yesterday we actually want to go here. I got struck down by food poisoning. So last day I went to my hotel room, laying all bed all day. Now, not talking in details, but we regained our vacation to going to Sachsenhausen today. And just a little part to hear till you were speaking on for a podcast. It's very impressive.
You planned from the beginning to also go to Sachsenhausen?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. Because we saw a series on TV, and it was about 5 young Berlin people. And from their perspective in the Second World War. In our history classes, us was never told that there were so many German people against Hitler. We were told most Dutch people were together with Hitler.
Well, some Germans were against it. How was the series called? Do you remember?
In German, I thought meine Mutti.
Mein Vater, meine Mutter. It is a Generation War in English. Yeah, there was one of the 5 young people. There was one Jewish guy, and he was sent to Sachsenhausen. And one girl, she was a singer, and she said some not so good things about Hitler. And then she was brought to Plötzensee. So that's why we first went to Plötzensee, and now we went to Sachsenhausen because of that series.
Wow, that's very interesting that a series brought you to Sachsenhausen to actually see what you can see here, what happened here. That's interesting. My great-grandfather was here in Sachsenhausen as a prisoner. Yeah, he was unemployed at the wrong time. That was the reason to put him to the concentration camp. But he survived, luckily. Yeah, he was here half a year from 1938 to 1939.
Okay.
Yeah.
And did he came out well or not so well?
Not so well.
No.
No, the last days, actually, we can see it because we are in Tower A, where the machine gun was placed in earlier days. We have a very good overview about the whole campsite. And you can see those two barracks over there. There used to be some kind of hospital stuff. In the last 3 days, he was in one of those hospital barracks because he suffered from tuberculosis.
No,
He wasn't well.
wasn't well.
No.
And how did he came out?
They kicked him out because they couldn't use him anymore. He was
Useless.
He was not working well anymore because he was sick. So, yeah, they kicked him out.
Okay.
From what you have seen now, is it what you expected?
No, not at all. I thought it was smaller, but when you're grabbing your phone and you're going to internet and you're looking at Sachsenhausen, you see some pictures of some old barracks. But the point of view where we are sitting in right now, it's not likely how you're getting your information in front before you're going to visit this camp. So it's really big and really, really impressive, overwhelming. Yeah.
What you could see here is actually this way from over there to over there used to be a shoe testing track. Prisoners had to wear heavy backpacks and walk up and down all day long to test shoes, if shoes were suitable for bad conditions.
Slavery,
yeah.
really insane.
If you think back, you have learned about history in World War II in a Dutch perspective. What are your connections to those days?
Yeah, well, connections. The stories from my parents. My father was born in Den Haag in Holland. And my grandfather, he also lived in Den Haag, and he was in his youth, I think, recruited, or he should be recruited, or he didn't went through. For my nephews, for my uncles, for my father's side, which I have had contact now for 5, 6, 7 years about, they're really interested in World War II as well. I think it was last year that the Dutch government opened the archives of all Dutch collaborators.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And they opened a register with all the names, last names of every bad Holland people. Just out of curiosity, I put in my last name and I saw that relatives of mine were bad Dutch people. But that's the crazy thing about the Dutch government. They open it, but you can see the names, but you cannot see the information behind it. So my nephews, Denver and Marcel Huijsing, you can write in on a waiting list. And when it's your time to go to that archive, you may have to make an appointment, a time slot, so that you can go into the archive and you get a limited time of 30 minutes to just look at their names and the backside information. Yeah, so that's also very interesting.
My father's father was still a little bit Jewish because how he looks like, but we are not Jewish anymore now. Far away, we're Jewish. So, yeah.
Like 2 generations, 3 generations.
2, 3 generations, yeah.
They used to be Jewish. But from the father's side.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's why it wasn't passed on to you.
Just by name.
Yeah, just by name.
Just by name, okay, yeah.
My family name is Jewish.
Did it affect somehow your ancestors in World War II?
We were in Westerbork in the Netherlands, and there is a register, and the name is in there. So there were people from my family in Westerbork, but I don't know much about that.
Your father and your mother also? No, never heard any stories about.
Is there a way to find out more about it?
Yeah, if you duck into the archives, probably yes.
Sachsenhausen used to be the headquarter of all concentration camps. And what you see here is just this very small part of the whole complex. It used to be way, way bigger, especially to this side. There's still a lot of buildings today. They have other purposes now. One is a police academy. Another one is from the memorial. Some other houses are just private houses with people living in. Another one is a youth hostel. So there's plenty of stuff you can see and walk around. You think you will be able to see at least what you expected on one day here?
I think we will. We have lots of time. They're closing at 5 o'clock, so I think we're having a time of, a few hours, just to see everything, to impress and feel everything, how the history here is alive, reading the stories, all the background information, how just a normal life on a normal day when this camp was still alive and working should be remembered, felt.
As you can see, there's a piece of the wall. It fell down. Over there is a piece of the wall missing. Over there, it's missing.
I see it.
There was a storm a couple of years ago. It was so strong that it actually broke over the wall. And as you can see, they didn't fix it. No money to fix it. We're not in a situation today where we are able to give enough money from the state to the campsite to actually fix things like that. In my opinion, that's a shame.
Really a shame.
We definitely should be able to pay to rebuild an historic wall from a concentration campsite for 2 reasons. First of all, idiots can get in and steal stuff and make nonsense.
Yeah.
And second of all, it's a memorial.
Yeah.
If I'm here, what worries me? Do we care still enough about stuff like that? What do you think?
Well, I think it's a must-do to the higher people, the government, just to come here and just see it. Just what you're saying, it's a memorial, but it must keep alive. And if there is a get of money in, well, just draw your wallet. And yeah, I'm sorry to say it, but we're just normal citizens. But just as we were saying all along, it's a memorial, it's a memorial. It must kept alive just for the future, that everyone can see how it was here. And that we never can forget what was happened in that period of time. I think it's very important.
For me, it's a little bit twisty, because at the one side, it's a memorial, but at the other side, I think nature will say something. Now it's true. So the storm had broken it down because now it's open. So it must be saved for people who will steal and come in and everything. But otherwise, for me, it's a sign from nature. So now it's free.
Yeah.
Maybe you can make something that you can hold people out who are not welcome to come in. But for me, it's also something beautiful that it's open now.
Another perspective.
Yeah.
Something I really like is like the place where the Appellplatz was. People had to line up down here every day and be counted. They had to stand in the cold for several hours and being punished and whatever. And we have some nice flowers down there. It's not really flowers. It's like little tiny flowers. In those days, there was no green stuff at all because the prisoners would have eaten it up.
Yeah.
They were hungry. But at least we have some little flowers there. So nature came through.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your
time and the opportunity to see the camp from out this perspective and this position. It's very...
Heil Sachsenhausen. A jak będę jutro wzdychał lewą nóżką, ci zawtikam. Heil, es lebe Gold, o Kampf.